You ever check your bank account and think, wait, how am I broke already? Like, you got paid maybe a week ago. You didn't buy a car. You didn't go on some luxury vacation. You didn't walk into a store and spend $5,000 on designer clothes. And yet somehow, your money disappeared. So you open your banking app and it's just this long list of tiny transactions. $9.99, $14.87, $22.50, $7.43. Another subscription, food delivery again. A late fee you forgot about. And individually, none of them feel dangerous. That's the scary part. Because most people think financial problems come from one giant mistake, but usually it's death by 1,000 tiny expenses. And here's what most people don't realize. The biggest threats to your financial future are often the expenses you stop noticing, the silent ones, the automatic ones, the it's only a few dollars ones. Look, if you make decent money but still feel financially stuck, this video is probably going to explain why. Because today, we're breaking down 7 hidden expenses quietly draining your bank account. And more importantly, how to stop them before they steal tens of thousands of dollars from your future. Introduction. My name is Zach, and I spend way too much time thinking about why people stay broke even when they make more money than ever before. If you're someone who feels like your paycheck disappears before you can actually build savings, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because honestly, a lot of financial advice online is terrible. People will tell you, just stop buying coffee. Meanwhile, they completely ignore the systems designed to quietly drain your money every single month. And that's what this video is really about. Not obvious spending, invisible spending. The kind that feels harmless in the moment but becomes devastating over time. So let's start with the first one, because this one is absolutely crushing people right now. 1. Subscription creep. Look, subscriptions are the perfect business model for companies, not for you. Because once something becomes automatic, your brain stops treating it like spending. That's the trick. A survey from C+R Research found that consumers estimated they spent around $86 per month on subscriptions, but the actual average was closer to $219. That's a massive difference. People literally don't know where their money is going anymore. And when you think about it, it makes sense. You sign up for Netflix, Spotify, cloud storage gym memberships, meal apps, AI tools, delivery memberships, random free trials you forgot to cancel. And suddenly you're paying hundreds every month before your brain even wakes up in the morning. Here's the thing. Subscriptions exploit something psychologists call payment invisibility. When money leaves automatically, the emotional pain of spending disappears. Cash hurts. Subscriptions don't, and that's dangerous. Now you might be thinking, okay, but it's only like $10 here and there. Right, but let's do the math. If you waste just $150 per month on subscriptions you barely use, that's $1,800 per year. Now invest that $150 monthly into an index fund averaging 10% annually for 30 years. FV equals 150, and 1 plus 0.10 over 12, 360 minus 1 0.10 over 12, F5 equals 150, 0.10 over 12, 1 plus 0.10 over 12, 360 minus 1, that turns into over $300,000 from subscriptions. That's not just Netflix money, that's retirement money. So here's the fix. Go through your bank statements for the last 3 months. Cancel anything you haven't used in 30 days. Turn off auto renew whenever possible. Force yourself to manually resubscribe if you actually miss it. Because convenience is expensive and companies know that. 2. Food delivery apps. Okay, this one might make some people angry, but food delivery apps are absolutely destroying people financially. And no, it's not just the food itself, it's the layers. You've got delivery fees, service fees, price markups, tips, small order fees, taxes. A $12 meal somehow becomes $28 every single time. And the worst part? It feels normal now. That's what scares me. A lot of people are spending restaurant level money for fast food quality because convenience has become emotionally addictive. Here's what most people don't realize. Food delivery apps aren't selling food. They're selling relief. You're tired. You're stressed. You don't want to cook. You want comfort immediately. So your brain stops evaluating costs logically, and companies understand this perfectly. According to studies from the National Institutes of Health, convenience-based decision-making increases significantly under stress and fatigue, meaning the more exhausted you are, the more likely you are to overspend. This is where it gets really interesting, because it's not even about one expensive order, it's frequency. Let's say delivery costs you an extra $15 compared to cooking. If you order 4 times a week, 15 times. 4 times 52, 15 times 4 times 52. That's over $3,000 per year. And honestly, For a lot of people, it's much higher. The fix here isn't perfection, it's friction. You need to make overspending slightly harder. Delete the apps from your phone. Not forever, just remove instant access. Because most impulsive spending happens within seconds, and if you interrupt the process, your logical brain finally has time to show up. 3. Buy now. Pay later. This one is sneaky, because psychologically, buy now, pay later doesn't feel like debt, but it is. Companies figured out something genius, and honestly kind of terrifying. People hate paying full price up front, so instead of saying, this costs $400, they say, just 4 easy payments of $100, and suddenly your brain relaxes. Even though, mathematically, nothing changed. Actually, it got worse, because now you're stacking multiple future payments across multiple purchases. Shoes, phone, clothes, headphones, and eventually your future income is already spent before you even earn it. That's the trap. Research from LendingTree found that many buy now pay later users ended up overspending specifically because the payments felt smaller and emotionally safer. This is called payment fragmentation. Your brain processes smaller payments as less painful, even if the total cost is identical. It's like cutting a pizza into tiny slices and convincing yourself you're eating less. You're not. Now, to be fair, buy now. Pay later isn't automatically evil. If used carefully occasionally with zero interest, it can be manageable. But for most people, it creates an illusion of affordability. And illusions are expensive. Here's a simple rule. If you need installments for something non-essential, you probably can't afford it yet. And I know people hate hearing that. But financial peace comes from owning your money, not constantly borrowing from your future self. 4. Bank fees. Most people ignore. This one drives me insane because banks quietly make billions from people simply not paying attention. Overdraft fees, ATM fees, maintenance fees, late fees, interest charges, tiny leaks everywhere, and individually they seem harmless, but together they become a serious financial drain. According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, Americans pay billions annually in overdraft and insufficient fund fees alone. Billions. And here's what's crazy. A lot of these fees hit the people who can least afford them. Someone already struggling financially gets punished with more financial penalties. It's like charging someone money for being low on money. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but it's only like a $35 overdraft fee. Sure, once. But many people get hit multiple times monthly, and the emotional effect matters too. Because every unexpected fee creates financial stress, and stressed people make worse money decisions. That cycle repeats over and over. So here's what you should do immediately. Turn off overdraft protection. Set low balance alerts, use fee-free ATMs, only automate minimum payments, negotiate fees whenever possible. Seriously, you'd be shocked how often companies reverse charges if you just ask. Most people never even try. 5. Lifestyle inflation. This is probably the most dangerous one on the list because it feels like success. You get a raise. And suddenly, better apartment, better car, better clothes, more eating out, more expensive vacations. Your income increases, but somehow your financial stress stays exactly the same. Why? Lifestyle inflation. And this is where a lot of people get trapped permanently because humans adapt incredibly fast. The new car feels exciting for maybe a few weeks, then it becomes normal, and now your brain wants the next upgrade. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation, which is basically your brain's ability to turn luxuries into expectations unbelievably quickly. Here's what most people don't realize. You don't become wealthy by looking wealthy. You become wealthy by creating a gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is everything, and lifestyle inflation destroys it. Let's say you get a raise of $800 per month after taxes. If you immediately absorb all of it into lifestyle upgrades, your future doesn't improve at all. But if you invested even half of it consistently for 25 years, FV equals 400. 1 plus 0.10 over 12. 300 minus 1 0.10 over 12. FV equals 400. 0.10 over 12. 1 plus 0.10 over the 12. 300 minus 1. You're potentially looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is why some high-income people are still broke. Because income alone doesn't create wealth. Margin does. And honestly, one of the most financially powerful things you can do is delay lifestyle upgrades slightly longer than everyone around you, because freedom compounds quietly. 6. Convenience, spending. Okay, this one sounds small, but it's everywhere. And once you notice it, you can't unsee it. Convenience spending is paying extra to avoid tiny amounts of discomfort. Examples: paying for faster shipping, constantly buying overpriced snacks at gas stations, taking expensive rides instead of public transport, ordering instead of cooking, paying someone for tasks you could do yourself. Again, none of these are terrible individually. The issue is repetition. Convenience has become one of the biggest hidden luxury expenses in modern life, and companies are aggressively optimizing for this. Everything is designed to reduce friction: one click, instant checkout, saved payment methods, same-day delivery, because the easier spending becomes, the less your brain evaluates it. This is where it gets really interesting. Friction is actually good for your finances. A little inconvenience protects your money. Think about it like junk food. If unhealthy food required a 45-minute walk every time, people would eat less of it. Same thing with spending. The harder purchases are, the more intentional they become. So one simple strategy that works incredibly well: create pause moments. Before buying something, wait. 24 hours for small purchases, 72 hours for medium purchases, 30 days for large purchases. You'll be shocked how many things stop feeling important once emotion fades, because urgency is often artificial. 7. The cost of not paying attention. This final one is the biggest hidden expense of all, and it's not technically a purchase. It's financial neglect. Not investing, not budgeting, not checking statements, not negotiating salaries, not understanding interest, because ignorance is expensive, very expensive. Look, here's the uncomfortable truth. If you don't actively manage your money, other people will manage it for you. Banks, advertisers, subscription companies, credit card companies. And trust me, their goal is not your financial freedom, it's profit. This is why financial education matters so much. Not because budgeting is exciting, it's not, but because every financial system around you is designed to extract money from people who aren't paying attention. That sounds dramatic, but it's true, and the biggest cost isn't even the money itself, it's lost time. Because money invested early becomes exponentially more powerful later. Here's a simple example. If someone invests $300 per month starting at age 22 and stops at 32, and another person starts investing $300 monthly at 32 and continues for decades, the early investor can still end up with more money because compound growth is insane. A equals P times open parenthesis 1 plus R over N close parenthesis to the power of NT. Compound interest rewards time more than intensity. That's the game. And every hidden expense steals not only today's dollars, but tomorrow's growth too. Conclusion. So let's recap the 7 hidden expenses quietly draining your bank account. Subscription creep, food delivery addiction, buy now pay later traps, bank fees, lifestyle inflation, convenience spending, financial neglect. And look, this video is not about guilt. You don't need to become some miserable person who never spends money. That's not the goal. The goal is awareness. Because once you see where your money is leaking, you finally regain control. And honestly, most people are much closer to financial stability than they think. They just have invisible holes in the bucket. Fix the leaks first, then wealth building becomes dramatically easier. So here's your challenge. Tonight, go through your last 30 days of spending, not emotionally, not defensively, objectively. Ask yourself, what expenses are genuinely improving my life, and which ones are just habits? That one exercise alone can completely change your financial future. And remember, wealth is rarely destroyed by one catastrophic decision. Usually it disappears quietly, one unnoticed expense at a time. If this video helped you think differently about money, hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and comment below. Which hidden expense surprised you the most? Because I read those comments, and honestly, some of the best future video ideas come directly from you guys. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.